Welcome back to the shop. We got another project on the go. I have been working on this International Harvester 724 for a day, and this is where I'm at with it. There's nothing on YouTube about this tractor, like very, very little for a 724, and I needed to put a clutch in it, so I just wanted to go through kind of where I'm at with it and what I've discovered. So it appears that the clutch is actually a double clutch. There's an inner and outer shaft that comes from the transmission, and the clutch itself has two clutch plates and pressure plates, and one of them is for the PTO. So I knew I needed the drive clutch, but I also needed a PTO clutch, and it seems like if I can find parts for it, I'll be able to replace both by splitting the tractor like this and not have to do anything in the rear end of it. Getting it apart wasn't too bad. The hardest parts so far have been getting that stupid fuel tank off this area here, and these springs that hold the throw bearings. Yeah, you can see one there and one on the other side. They hold the throw bearing carrier, and they were just a pain to get off. I'm sure there's a trick for it. I'm sure it's going to be a pain to get them back on. So if anybody has any tips or comments about that, please leave them in the comments. Okay, so getting it apart. Obviously the cowlings have to come off, the fuel tank needs to come off, throttle cables, the wiring, the fuel line from the tank. I just emptied the tank and then took it off. That's most of it for this side, I think. And then around this side is the hydraulics. So from the pump right there, there's these three lines, then there's the two little ones for the power steering, and that was the bulk of it for this side. And then you've just got to get your bell housing bolts out, which were really actually decent to come out. So there's the two big ones that are hiding under the fuel tank up here, and then three along each side, 1, 2, 3, and then I think 4 or 5, 6 bottom ones. Oh, sorry, get that in the frame here. So there's these 6 holes here, and then yeah, and the 3 on the other side there. And then obviously you want your tractor supported, so I've got the back end jacked up and a jack stand under the back end. On the front, I've got my jack set up so that the wheels are facing the direction I want it to go. So I jacked up the front just a hair. When it started to come loose, I started pulling it back. If you're doing a tractor split, always make sure to jam some wood on the axle, because obviously the engine can pivot to the side. So if there's nothing there, it's going to flop over on you, and that'd be a bad day. So definitely both sides, just jam some wood in there, just hammered some pieces of scrap wood in there, and seems to be doing a good job. Okay, so once you've got the tractor apart, then you need to take off the clutch itself. I'll show you how to do that over yonder. Oh, I gotta come flip this over here. Oh my goodness. These components are heavy. So this is what you're gonna see inside the tractor. There's bolts on the exterior, maybe 8 of them, maybe more, I don't know. Take all those off, and this whole assembly is going to come off. It's quite heavy, so be prepared to catch that. So that's the double clutch, and it can be further disassembled, but I'm actually going to send this off to a buddy that knows more about these things than I do. That kind of comes with it. Then the flywheel itself is one piece. It's got whatever, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts. It is very heavy, so prepare yourself for that when it comes off. And then the real pain so far has been this throw bearing carrier. So this guy, obviously it goes up, well, it's flipped over now. It goes up against the arms on the clutch there, but imagine that's in there on that shaft, and it's held on by 4 bolts. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4 arms that come down, and this grease line on the bottom. So that needs to come off. Came off really easy. The problem was those stupid springs that hold on. There's one that goes in that hole there, and one that hooks onto that arm there. And man, they were hard to get off, and I'm worried about that part. But anyway, once you get that off, Again, these bearings need to be replaced. They're pretty much shot, so hopefully we can find some parts, but that is the disassembly of and removal, at least, of the International Harvester 724. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I don't know really anything about this tractor. I'm kind of winging it, but anyway, we've gotten this far, so that's the best that could happen. Hope that helps somebody. Take care, guys. Thanks. Bye.